Welcome back to another episode of A Cup of Joe. Today's special guest is Matt Crump with Ladder 41. Matt, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you for being here on the show with us today.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We appreciate everything that you do for us. So a lot of people don't know what Ladder 41 is.
Yeah.
So just from a high level, can you share a little bit about your company?
Absolutely. So we are firefighter owned and operated, also veteran owned and operated. Mm-hmm. And the way we came up with Ladder 41 is I was the driver for Ladder 4 at my city, and my partner was the driver for Ladder 1 for his city.
Oh, so that's how 4 and 1 came together?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So kind of cool little backstory.
Yeah. And it's often that a lot of firefighters always have like a side gig.
Everyone.
Because of y'all are, your schedules are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got a few buddies over the years who married up. And they married into money, and so they would show up and work, every third day, and then go home and
whatever,
be daddy and get to stay home. But
I love it.
Most of us had to work other jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into this job? Did this kind of fall in your lap, or did you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good question, because I don't think there's anybody who grows up wanting to be a pressure washer. And when I started, I said, "Oh, this is not for me. I definitely don't want to do this." But
why? Why is that?
It's a lot of work. It's dirty. It's, as you know, owning a business is so much more than just doing the
work.
Job. Absolutely.
Yes.
So
don't I know it?
And that's what I love. I love owning businesses, starting businesses, and creating. And pressure washing was easy to do that with. So there was a need in the community, and I saw a way to make money, and it was an opportunity for me to create. So.
And it seems like it's a very peaceful job.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Right?
Anytime I don't have a boss who's micromanaging me, and I can just go and kind of like tune out, I'll throw in the AirPods and
jam out.
Podcast, music, I'll sing, whatever I got to do. And I just kind of...
No one can hear you anyway.
No. And if they can, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm off in my own little world, and I enjoy the satisfaction that comes along with taking something that is dirty and ugly and making it beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I obsess over those time-lapse videos.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Where you see, like, it's just, and I just want to watch it. It's like AMSR.
Yes.
Is it ASMR? Whatever.
I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
But it's like, you just can't stop watching. You're
right,
like, oh, that looks so good. Finally, it's all the gunk is off of it. And I think a lot of people, underestimate, like, obviously the power of being an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah.
It's nonstop, right? So we all are like, oh, I don't want to do a 9 to 5 because I want to work 9 to 9, like 24/7.
That's the trap. Yeah,
it's a trap.
It is 24 hours a day.
Literally.
So, yeah.
And I know that, we deal with it a lot, but what is, in your opinion, one of the best advice you can give, like fellow sole proprietors that just want to start something? And then did you grow it? Do you want to scale it? Do you want to stop where you're at? Like, where's your head at as far as that goes?
Yeah, I think good advice would be realistic about what you want. Kind of, try and write down some goals. What is your purpose? What are you trying to accomplish? Figure that out, and then seek out someone who's smarter than you.
Amen.
Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. Easy for me to do. I'm always the dumbest guy in the room, and
don't
it's not
say
always
that
on purpose. But no, it's smart to surround yourself with successful people who can guide you. There's a balance of trying to figure it out on your own, make your own mistakes, but also have the wisdom and the guidance to kind of direct you in the way that you need to be moving, so that you don't fail on a large scale. Failing on a small scale, I think, is good. It's healthy because you learn your lessons. You take your shots, and then
failures are lessons. Yeah,
absolutely. So and you need that thick skin, that tough skin. You need to get knocked down and pick yourself back up. And when you're in sales, which 90% of pressure washing is sales. So you can be the best pressure washer in the world, and if you can't sell a job, if you can't talk to a customer, if you can't
Yeah.
sell yourself, then you're going to be not doing much pressure washing.
Right.
So learning how to take no every day, multiple times a day.
So many times.
Absolutely.
So many times.
Yeah.
It happens.
So you need to be resilient.
Yeah.
For sure.
Gotta have thick skin to be in this
Yes,
job.
absolutely.
I mean, it's just part of being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
One thing that I've noticed, a lot of the and obviously you being one of our hub vendors,
Mm-hmm.
it's been a game changer because we're able to really focus on quality control instead of quantity control.
For sure.
And that has been the biggest game changer in our business because now that we're able to be like hyper focused on what you do and you rinse and repeat.
Right. Right.
Get it? Get
Absolutely.
it? No
I
pun
like that.
intended.
Not at
You
all.
rinse and
Yeah.
repeat, and you just do it over and over again instead of trying to like do all the things, all the places,
Yeah.
all the areas, all the cities, all the states. You
Right.
end up getting just diluted. Again, here it goes.
I like it.
Into the process of how do you scale a business.
For sure.
So in your experience, like what does success look like for you? Like as a business owner, is it that you have like the specific, metrics of what drives your business, or is it to get as much business as possible? Like what does
a
what
good
does
question.
success look like for you?
I think success to me is it's a lot different than a lot of people see it. For me, because I've been pressure washing for 2.5 years, right? I'm 43 years old. So I got started very late. I spent my entire adult life working for the government, and I was gone constantly. I didn't see my family. I had issues because of that. Anyways, long story short, success to me is being home every night with my wife and my kids. And being
Being
able
present.
to, absolutely,
Yeah.
being
So
able to pay the bills, being able to have food on the table, providing a safe environment, making memories with my family, that is success to me. And
I love that.
so, yeah, it's not necessarily a number. It's the fact that I can continue that and provide a future for my kids, safety and security for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most important to me. So if I can continue doing that, then I feel like I'm winning.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the rest is just, icing on the cake. The
Yeah.
rest is, yes, we're going to sit down and we're going to, look at numbers. We're going to figure out what's working, what's not working. Another reason we got into this was to not only employ firefighters and veterans, but also to mentor them. If I'm able to do that, then we're successful in our goals.
In your mission.
Absolutely.
It's so important to have a pulse of the why behind something.
For sure.
I get people that reach out to me all the time. They're like, I see you're killing it in real estate and
Yeah.
you're making all this money. And like, I want to do the same thing. I'm like, you can't have that as a driver.
Right,
You
right,
got to
right.
have a very deep, reason.
Absolutely.
And money is going to deter you. And
Yeah.
I'm scared of it. Like,
Sure.
because I've seen other people crumble and crash because of that being their motivator.
Yes.
To your point, we still have to put food on the table.
Right.
We still have to provide for our family.
Yeah.
But that deep understanding of the why do we do this?
For sure.
Because you want to be a provider and you want to have that flexibility of being able to pick and choose when
For
to
sure.
go. You want to be present. Those are really admirable goals.
Well, thank you.
And I love that, you're like one of the first people that said that. And I love that mission, which makes people buy into your brand even more.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't realize, especially in my opinion, when they're starting a business, is don't start the business for the money.
Absolutely.
And I encourage my team, and I say this over and over again, kind of like the affirmations, like, I don't work for money. I work for people.
That's right.
When you work for people, the money part,
Yeah.
it comes.
It'll take care of itself.
It takes care of itself. It figures
Yeah.
it out. And when you really zone in on that, then everything is going to fall into place. And
Yeah.
I love that.
I think that's a good point. And I think also it takes life experience and maturity and a deep understanding of money as a tool. And that's all it is. And
Yeah.
so, like the Bible says, the love of money is the root of all evil.
So true.
Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is. And so
Yeah.
your intentions are important. And,
Yeah.
what can you do with that money? What, provide for your family, do things for your
Give
community,
back,
give back to
yeah.
the church.
Yeah.
So the way we use our money is very important.
It's true. You could
Absolutely.
be like the Incredible Hulk or like the Tasmanian Devil. With like you could either
That's right. Yeah.
both are successful or powerful rather. But walk me what a day in life of Matt looks like.
Man. Well, when does my day start? So I try and wake up around 7 o'clock every morning, 7:30. Usually it's been the last 6 months. It's been a long night. We've been up, 3, 4 times. My wife gets up more than I do. She is an absolute rock star and she's crushing being a mommy.
Yeah. With a 6-month-old.
6-month-old little wild Indian who is just full of life and energy and he hates sleep. And so
Oh my
my
goodness.
poor wife, she is exhausted. We are
no.
exhausted, but she so much more than me. And so I try and wake up 7:30. I'll take the dogs. We have 2 German Shepherds who are also full of energy.
Oh my
and,
goodness.
I'll take them out for a walk and try and get some energy out, and because they're home all day with mom. And
Mom's like,
yeah,
Yeah.
she has a full plane. She also works full time, and she works
goodness.
remote. So it has it's been a lot on her plate now being a mother. So get the dogs taken care of. Spend a little time with baby boy and with mom before I got to head out the door. I usually try and leave around 8:30 at the latest. And I am the second I'm out the door, it's phone is ringing.
praise God.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when it's not ringing, it's stressful.
Yeah.
That is a lot of weight on your shoulders
Yeah.
because you got to provide.
That's right.
So, which I love. I love that stress because it pushes me to create. It pushes me to just figure it out. And
Yeah.
I've always just thrived under stress. If
I'm the same way.
I'm not stressed and I'm bored and
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm
Pressure
creative.
makes diamonds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, it's first thing first is I'm reaching out to customers. I'm making phone calls. I'm reaching out to my business partner. We usually have a little phone call every morning. Just make sure that,
Quick huddle.
yeah, we're all on the same page. We know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's social media, it's marketing, it's putting, videos together.
All the
And you are a, magician at that. So I've taken some notes from how
Good.
I've watched you over the last couple months. And I've become more active on social media as far as pushing the company and getting content out there.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
Actually, someone else mentioned it to me because they saw
Really?
one of my listings on your video.
Yeah.
They're like, that looks amazing.
Nice.
I was like, well, and that's the thing. People are, I'm sorry, I am such a squirrel. Like sometimes
That's all right. I'm ADD times a million. So
I'm such a squirrel. But people are consuming content. The minute you
Yes.
open up your phone,
yes,
someone's content's going to be at the top.
right.
It might as well be yours.
Absolutely.
And it is a lot of work. People
Yes.
like, I've had sometimes people are like, you are a lot. I mean, I am a lot, but that means just you're a little. So
Yeah.
like
Right.
if you don't have your content
Yeah.
pushed out, someone's still going to push it out.
Yeah.
So who is fighting for that first spot? And
Right.
you have to nurture that business in order for it to stay on top of mind. Otherwise,
For sure.
as soon as it, with a stroke of a finger,
Mm-hmm.
your content's gone.
Yes.
And that's how fast it can, be dismissed.
Right.
So I'd rather at least have a chance of being on that screen than
Yeah.
not doing it at all. And so I've
100%.
noticed you been pushing,
Awesome.
even your tracks, your music, like
Yeah.
what you put on the videos. I love it. I just zen out to your, time lapse ones. I don't know if you
Awesome.
do the time lapses
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
I watch it. I'm just like, just seeing the black wall just kind of
Mm-hmm.
slowly open up and it turns into like this beautiful brick underneath.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is cool because you don't realize like you are making an impact.
Thank
You are the first impression
Yes.
of my houses. Like my listings, when people walk up to them, it is the biggest turnoff. I get mad when I'm showing a house and there's cobwebs everywhere
Yes,
and dirt
absolutely.
daubers
Yeah.
and your windows have a bajillion fingerprints and everything else. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's fine if you live there.
Right.
If that is your house,
Yeah.
that's fine. But when it is on the market,
It needs to
and
look good.
it's a model home.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to do it. And then you bring in these like hoses and all this stuff. Like, you have this like giant freaking trailer with
Yeah.
like all this. Tell me about this stuff.
Yeah. So when we first got together and decided we want to start this business, we have a friend who is an investor. He runs a $1 billion medical corporation.
Wow.
Based out of Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
But he lives here in Central Alabama. He's a good buddy of ours. And so when we started this conversation, we kind of floated it to a few friends, and everyone's like, "Oh, I want to invest. I want to invest. I want to invest." And
Did you have to? There's a startup cost, right? Of like equipment and things like this. Yeah.
If you're going to do it the right way, absolutely. And so we looked at each other and we said, "I don't know that we're onto something," because all of a sudden everyone wants to throw money at us. We don't just need money. We need someone, because we are not
resources, right?
We are not businessmen. We are idiot firefighters and veterans. Like, we don't know what we're doing when it comes to business.
Simple.
We need someone to guide us. We need someone who knows more about business than we do, which is not hard, to walk us along. So we reached out to a buddy of ours and had a meeting, and he said, "I'm in. I love it. I'm in. I believe in it. Let's do it." So our first purchase was a $30,000 rig, and it's soft washing, pressure washing, capable. It's a 16-foot trailer, and you hook it up and you go, and you have everything you need on that trailer to basically do any residential or commercial pressure washing job. And most people think pressure washing, you can pressure wash a house. You should not pressure wash a house. You should soft wash a house using chemicals, because pressure washing causes a lot of damage, because it's a lot of pressure. Housing materials are not built to withstand that pressure, and you have a lot of companies out there who are destroying houses
Oh my God.
and properties by pressure washing them.
And I could attest to that.
Yes, and people wanting to save money, so they go with the
Cheapest.
15-year-old kid down the street who has a pressure washer,
Yep.
and they regret it in the end. And I understand that. And so I'm the last guy who's going to shame that kid. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to that kid and say, "Hey, listen, there's a better way to do this. Come hang out.
Oh,
let
I
me show you."
I love you. I love that. Yeah.
Because that's leadership 101, is training the generation,
Younger generation.
behind you, and teaching them the right way to do it. So
That's so good.
anyways, our first investment was that $30,000 rig.
Yeah.
The next year we bought another one.
So is that the big giant thing that's sitting in the back of your trailer that's got solution in it?
Yeah, so I have a 525 gallon water tank on that trailer, and that's probably what you're talking about.
Okay.
So it's called a buffer tank, and I can bring my own water to any job, but typically I'm going to need more than 525 gallons to do the job the right way. So it depends on how much I'm washing, what I'm washing. Oh yeah.
Really?
So large amounts of water. Of course, my machines are 10 gallons a minute, 12 gallons a minute, so it's putting out a lot of volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the way to do the job the right way. Instead of high pressure, use high volume. Another thing a lot of pressure washers don't realize.
Okay.
But yeah,
Interesting.
so there's believe it or not, there's some education involved, and I had to do a lot of homework and some riding along with some other guys and having them teach me the right ways to do it. So a lot of chemicals involved, and having to know what's going to kill plants and what's going to stain wood and what's going to mess up copper and absolutely. So yeah, it's good to be educated and know your craft.
Yeah.
So, but also to be able to communicate that to your customers. So.
And I always lead my clients with, I never question how much something costs. We always want to ask, what's the value that it's bringing?
Absolutely.
Because it's not a matter of, well, this is going to cost you this, this is going to cost you this. It's more like, this is going to get rid of this problem, and this is going to get rid of this problem. And when I think
creating this wealth.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you have to, come from a different proposition.
Yes.
Because for the longest time, I tried to compete with these flat fee agents of like, oh yeah, I'll just put a sign in the yard and I'll take some pictures to like save you money. I'll charge nothing to do this listing. But then the consistent problem I kept having was like, it was hard to defend the listing because then it wasn't selling and people were not falling in love with it. And then they weren't not like, oh my God, I have to have this house.
Yeah.
And in this market, it's so hard to move property.
Yes.
Like it's very hard. But luckily, I don't know. I think our secret sauce is like just we do it all, like, right?
For sure.
And every one of our listings, all the ones that you've even pressure, we've sold them in a week. Every one of them, multiple
Awesome.
offers in a week, multiple
Yeah.
offers in a week. And this is not the market where we're getting multiple offers
Right.
and they're selling in a week. It's not happening.
Right.
So what is it that, all the pieces that have to all align? It's your piece, it's Jack's piece, it's the stagier's piece. Like, there's a all hands on deck. And I think that's the consumer experience that people are missing right now. It's like, how do you do that?
Yes, you're right. You're right. I think you're selling yourself short as well. I think you have to have the leadership and you have to have the person who is creating all that and bringing all that together, which you and Aaron are
Oh, thank you.
total rock stars. And you guys have done a phenomenal job of creating your own network. And that's awesome. And I think you're seeing the benefit of that now.
Fruit of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm so glad that it's finally come. Like, it's taken a long time to figure
sure.
out what is the
sure.
perfect combination
Yeah.
of, like, who gets in what seat. And my
Right.
gosh, how many times we have failed over and over again. Like,
Yeah.
to your point, we've had the cheaper pressure washer teams that were teenagers that did it on the
Right.
blew the paint right off the dead gum house, and
Right.
like, things were coming flying off, the wood was chipping, and we had all these problems, and then we had bigger problems that we had to come back and fix, and we're like, that did not work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a horrible failure.
Absolutely.
We've knocked off gutters with pressure washers. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, everything you're saying, I'm cringing because I'm like, yeah. And we've used cleaners that have rusted pipes and turned the colors of the gutters a different color because it was too harsh of chemicals.
Right.
And everything you're saying
Yeah.
has such validity, which is why, I don't know, how did we even end up together? I have no idea, but I'm glad we did.
Yeah, and I think I was trying to remember that on my way here this morning, and I think that you had made a post saying that you were putting a team together and you were looking for these certain industries, and I think I had a lot of people who.
That's right. That kept recommending you.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that.
That spoke for itself.
Yeah, but if you do a good job, if you know what you're doing, if you treat people the right way, if you do a good job networking, if you create a reputation for yourself in the community that people respect you, and they know what you do, they recommend you because you've done right by them, it pays off, and it takes a while to create that reputation.
Doesn't it though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very blessed because we have a lot of people, especially on social media. Anytime someone is looking for work, we have people jumping at the chance to throw our name out there and to push our company. And I think it says a lot about our work ethic and just the moves we made up to this point have been the right moves for the most part.
Tell me about the wrong moves you've made.
Wrong moves.
What has gone wrong? What has been some of the lessons that you had to learn?
Wrong moves, growing too fast, and knowing when to scale back a little bit. We when we first started, it was like drinking from a fire hydrant. No pun intended.
We're doing really good at that.
Yeah, we had. So I was a Homewood firefighter, and I took an early retirement for some personal reasons, but also to start this company. And the city of Homewood, I had a lot of connections in it. And so I don't want to say I exploited that, but I used those to my benefit. And so when I would market as a retired Homewood firefighter to Homewood residents. And that brought us a lot of work. And when I first started pressure washing, I didn't know a thing about pressure washing. And, I had to learn on the fly. I had to
Best way to learn.
Absolutely.
Yikes.
And I had to just go make some
expensive.
mistakes. And and I've paid out of pocket a few times for mistakes I made. But I think the fact that, you're a company, if you make a mistake, you got to make it right.
That's right.
First of all. So we kind of got overwhelmed with the amount of work that came in. And, our goal as a company, our mission as a company was to hire local firefighters who were looking for work and to hire veterans who were transitioning out of the military and help them kind of make that jump. And so we did, and we did not have a system in place to train them the right way, to spend the amount of time that we needed to spend with them So they were doing the job the right way and upholding our standard as a company. And I'm a perfectionist. If I show up to your property, it's going to be, everything needs to be done the right way. And if there's an issue, I'm the one who's going back to fix it. And we just started noticing our level of service that we were offering was starting to decline, and we were starting to have customers complain. And so growing too fast, I realized that we were not able to offer the same same level of service. So we had to scale back. We had to, put things on hold a little bit, spend more time teaching and correcting. And it's been a lot. So 2.5 years, there are things that I should have done when we first started that I still have not done because I have not had the time.
Like what?
Like creating systems for my company, getting systems in place. Like, I worked for the government for my entire adult life. I know all about SOPs, and I don't have them for my company yet, which is a mistake on my part, and I'm going to eventually get there. But when you're the owner, the operator,
You're all the things,
the labor, the marketer, you only have so much time.
Delegate.
Yes. Yeah. Delegate.
You gotta delegate.
Right.
I can connect you with a system whiz.
Awesome.
If that's what you need,
Yeah.
I've got someone that could write an SOP and flesh out a system and build a whole thing in a New York minute. She's like, came in, like my assistant. She's
Nice.
incredible at doing that stuff.
Awesome.
But she's like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to find it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to set it up, and then I'm out.
Yeah.
So, but that's where you have to, and that's my weakness too. It's like I have all these big ideas,
Yeah.
but if I don't have the architects
Right.
to build these ideas
Yes.
with me, these ideas are just gonna flumber and
Yes.
crash into the ground. And we have to have these points of, these
Right.
teams and these team members that could carry each pillar on
Yeah.
their own. So I'm glad that you're able to share that because
Yeah.
that's how we grow.
Right,
Like, okay,
absolutely.
this is where I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And let's bring that up tomorrow,
Yeah.
like at the hub meeting. I think that would be a great idea and that's what we're going to kind of do. Like, hey, what's your SWOT? Kind of like what Fedra just said. What's your strength? Where's your weakness?
Yeah.
And who's got a
How can we help
strength?
each other?
That's his weakness. If
Yeah.
that's your weakness, that's his strength, and that's how
Right.
we can together build up that community of
Absolutely.
like where we're
Yeah.
really truly firing on all
Yeah.
cylinders.
And that's that's the hard part about owning a company, or about being a business owner. It's knowing, how do I grow?
Yeah.
Because you have your idea of a business, and then you get it started, and you get moving forward, and then it's like just a waterfall. It's just so much stuff coming in constantly, and then you plateau because you don't know how to break past that point. I think that's the hardest part about being a business owner, is
true.
knowing how to keep moving forward.
And how do you reposition the roles to where it's like, okay, I've been doing that. Now I'm going to stop. I'm going
Right.
to move someone else to do it.
Right. Yeah.
That for me was social media.
Yeah.
Because I was the one that was like, I wanted to do all the editing. I wanted to
Right.
do all the videos. I wanted to be the one that shot it. I knew what angle I wanted to get and
Sure.
all this stuff. And then I was like, forget it. Like there's
Yeah.
no possible way I could do all those things
Yeah.
within the amount of time there's only so much time, right?
Right.
And I wanted to be present kind of like you with my family. I wanted to be
Yes.
home
And that's the most important thing is
Yeah.
my main goal is being a good husband, a good father, a good leader for my family.
Yeah.
So all this is secondary. All this is just,
Means, yeah.
yeah.
So that's so good. What advice would you give somebody in your younger days where you were like, I'm just going to get this thing started before you strike a check for 50 grand or 30 grand? What advice would you give a young entrepreneur that wants to get started in your job?
Oh, that's a good question. The advice would probably be start slow. Don't grow too fast. But the main thing has to be surrounding yourself with people you trust who can guide you the right way.
Yeah.
I think it comes back to that every time.
Mentorship.
For me, I studied the industry for probably about 6 months before I jumped in. I saw that there was a way to make money in it. And I saw a bunch of guys, kind of doing all the same thing. And I decided to pull myself back from that a little bit. And instead of just following them and doing exactly what they were doing that may or may not have been working for them, I decided that I wanted to figure it out on my own and maybe do some things differently. And I don't know what I do differently from anyone else because I purposefully removed myself from that community. I have a few buddies who own businesses here locally that we kind of network with each other and do jobs together, but I make it a priority to not be involved in how they run their business and how they do their jobs and how they market and how they do anything, because I wanted to kind of create my own path in the industry.
Okay.
And so maybe that's different. I don't know if that is an ego thing on my part. I don't know if it's my background in the military or the fire department, always kind of wanting to pave my own path. And not,
I have a rebellious little strike in me too. I get it. I'm like, I'll do it myself.
Right.
I'll do it my way.
But I think it's easy to get trapped into, if you just follow and do the same thing that everyone else is doing, you're going to get those same results. But if you are doing something different, and you're not going to know if you're doing something different, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, until you get around other people and see the way they operate. But I think whatever we're doing, myself and my partner, it's been successful to this point. So,
what does differentiate you?
Absolutely, what differentiates us is the fact that we're veteran and firefighter owned and operated. So, anyone can pressure wash. It's not hard. You spend a couple months and you learn it. You do it the right way, and it's not hard. But what sets us apart is, I think, number one, our work ethic is far beyond most other companies. Our attention to detail.
I'll contest to this because I had a listing that you showed up to, and I was like, crap. And then the guy stained the deck, came back, taped off half the house. You're like, okay, I can only do this. And you come back on a Sunday night, on Super Bowl Sunday, might I add, in the middle of the Super Bowl, and you're like, hey, I came back and went ahead and knocked that out. I'm like, man, I appreciate that like so much, because the showing started the next morning.
Right.
And so your work ethic, like, I can 100% back that up. So we're very thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's again, it's my company. It's my reputation on the line. So if I have to miss a football game to do the job the right way, then I'm going to do it every time.
But you know what? I learned something from that too, of like making sure that those guys do not come until after you're finished.
That's fine.
That's like switched it.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's I think being in the military, it's a pressure, and it's almost like you're part of a team, and you know that those people are relying on you to do your part. And so my team will not succeed if I'm not pulling my own weight. And sometimes you sacrifice to pull your own weight for the betterment of the team. You and I had discussed that when the house was going live, when it needed to be done. And so I promised you that I'd have it done by then. And so if I have to sacrifice a little bit, that's fine. And I'm okay with that.
I appreciate that so much. Yeah.
You know what? You're going to use me again for your next one because you can count on me.
That's right.
So
100%.
It's
and the next one and the next one.
It's those little things that set you apart.
That's
and
right.
so being dependable is a big part of that.
Huge.
Yeah.
Which is such a simple yet complicated theory.
Absolutely.
Why is that? Like, as entrepreneurs, my goodness, like, the reputation that entrepreneurs have of like, can't get them on the phone. They don't answer their phone. You got to text them. You got to email them. Keep calling them. They'll eventually answer. And you're like, why is this a problem?
So it's a societal problem.
Do you think it's because the bar of entry is so low?
It is low.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it is low. And so going back to the military, and this is the last time I'll bring that up. But in 2013, I joined the military. In 2014, I had a chance to go to airborne school, right?
Okay.
The reason I had the chance to go to airborne school is because I showed up on time. I was where I was supposed to be. I was in the right uniform, and I did the bare minimum. And that's what set me apart.
What?
And I had 30 other guys who were ahead of me to go to airborne school, but because I showed up on time, was always in the right uniform, and I did the bare minimum, I got bumped up the list, and I went to airborne school before all those other guys. And I realized this is not hard. I can succeed very easily in the military if I just do those three things. And I did. I had a very successful military career. I was in for 10 years, and I can't tell you how many times I was able to go to schools that were 2-3 years out from me because last minute a guy would, not be able to go, and I was the first one they called because they knew that I would make it a priority and I'd be there. And because of that, I ranked up a lot faster than most other soldiers. I got put into positions of leadership a lot faster than other soldiers. And I kind of took that with me as an adult throughout life. If you'll do the bare minimum, answer your phone, show up when you're supposed to,
Wow.
follow through with your promises.
What a concept.
It sets you apart from everybody else.
That's incredible.
At that point, you're fighting with the top 1% of the other, I don't want to say your rivals, but you're the other people that you're competing. Yeah, your competitors. Yeah. And I've done a really good job of finding my competitors in the pressure washing game and networking with them. Instead of making enemies out of them, I've made friends out of them. And now instead of us competing for jobs, we're working together on jobs. We're making money together. And now we're discussing starting other businesses together.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
So, yeah.
That's awesome. So dependable.
Absolutely.
On time and just doing what you said.
The bare minimum.
Like literally,
it's too easy.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
But yet, a lot of people can't seem to get that concept together.
For sure. It makes life for me a lot easier. So I will gladly take that work. I will put that food on my family's table.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
To wrap it up, can you tell our audience how can they find you?
Yeah, we're easy to find. We are Ladder 41 on Instagram, Ladder 41 on Facebook. My phone number is the best way to get a hold of me. It's 205-999-3970. Text or call anytime. My business partner, he runs the gutter cleaning side of our company. I run the pressure washing side of our company.
Okay.
And we're very blessed to have a lot of business in Central Alabama. Have probably about 1,500 customers in the over the mountain area, and most of those customers have been with us for probably the last decade.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
That is awesome. And one call is all.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Matt, for joining us at A Cup of Joe.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you until the next episode.